Hey everyone, Michael from Toy Habits here, and I have the day off, so I am on a toy hunt. I'll be hitting up 2 Targets and a Walmart in my local area, just hoping to find the usual suspects of Masters of the Universe Origins figures and Transformers. Alright, so here we are at the Masters of the Universe Origins section, and this Walmart is pretty notorious for just having peg warmers and the usual Panther and Prince Adam Sky Sled figures. Now, I don't collect Star Wars figures, but I think these vintage figures are cool. I remember watching the Return of the Jedi movie back in the theater when I was a kid, and this just brings back a lot of memories. I actually might just pick these up. Now, over to the wrestling figures. I don't collect wrestling figures either, but I really love these AEW figures. Riho looks really great. I watch her on AEW when she was on. I think she's on New Japan Wrestling now, but also this Big Van Vader figure is pretty awesome. They also have a John Cena figure here if you collect those. All right, over to the Transformers section, which is pretty much a disappointment. Everything is picked over and it looks like they have not restocked at all, but they do have a vertebrae figure, but it's in the scale that I don't collect. It's one of the tinier scaled figures, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave those on the pegs. All right, I was gonna call the first Target a bust, but I did end up getting these Star Wars vintage Return of the Jedi figures. Bring back lots of memories from when I was a kid, so I think that just tugged on my heartstrings, and we are off to the next store. All right, just pulled into the local Walmart, but I don't have high hopes for this store. Like any other Walmart I visit in my local area, they are just notoriously bad at not stocking figures and just not getting new supplies of toys. So let's check it out. All right, at the local Walmart with the He-Man section, and pretty much same old story here. Lots of peg warmers of He-Man and Skeletor, which is very disappointing. All right, over to the wrestling figure section, and as you can see, there are no Motu WWE figures in sight. All right, over to the Transformers section. There is not much here, but to my surprise, they do have some of the latest Netflix War for Cybertron figures. They have Deep Cover, the DCS Army drone, and the Sparkless Bot. All right, that visit to Walmart wasn't too bad, although they did have some things that I had, so I did leave them on the pegs, but I am off to my final store, that being the second Target in the run today. All right, over to the Transformers section. They do have some Studio Series figures, the Dino and Bumblebee Studio Series figures, which are cool, but I don't need them in my collection. They do also have a War for Cybertron Kingdom RC, which I already have, and they do have these smaller scale figures. Coming over to the Motu section, they have the typical peg warmers of He-Man and Skeletor, and Panther and Battle Cat and Prince Adam's Sky Sled. The Star Wars section in this Target is pretty abysmal. They don't really have anything that I would want. So I'm heading over to the Funko Pop section. My daughter collects these, but there's really nothing that she would want here. But it's a pretty cool section if you do collect these, and I came across some Toony Terror figures that were pretty cool. I used to watch the Friday the 13th series, so I really dig this Jason Voorhees figure, and right when I picked that one up, right behind him was a Freddy Krueger figure. So let me grab that one and put this one down. The Freddy Krueger is pretty cool. I also watched the Nightmare on Elm Street series, so not much going on. It looks like there's a diorama display that you can probably do with them on the back. I do love the Nintendo products, and I typically cruise by this section, but wait, oh, what is this? Wow, I love this. I am totally gonna get this. It is a Legend of Zelda pen and plant pot. Very cool. definitely going to pick that up. All right, so as you can see, not a total bust at the Target, but I did pick up this Legend of Zelda pen and plant holder. Well, change of plans, decided to throw a third Target into the mix. I had to stop by the grocery store to pick up dinner tonight, so let's see what they have. All right, cruising by the Transformers section. Now this Target is much better stock than all the others. We have an Optimus Primal. There are some Bumblebee-verse figures that I don't collect. And they have some Transformers Studio Series figures, a bunch of hot rods with a Grimlock, and oh my gosh, what are these? Totally mixed in the wrong place. They have these Eternia mini figures from the Masters of the Universe line, Battle Armor Skeletor, Battle Armor He-Man, and Ninjor, which I'm not super fond of, so I will leave him on the pegs. And we'll cruise over to the Masters of the Universe section, and very typical again for my local Walmarts with the He-Man and Skeletor peg warmers and the abysmal Star Wars display. But it might not be abysmal if I actually collected a bunch of this stuff, but I don't, so it's abysmal to me. All right, so was not expecting to find Masters of the Universe Eternia minifigs, but I did. I found Battle Armor Skeletor and Battle Armor He-Man, so thus concludes the toy hunt for today, and I am off to the grocery store. Hey everyone, I am back from my toy hunt, and I bought a ton of impulse purchases, so let's see what I ended up with. Now, I don't think I've shared this before, but I am a huge Legend of Zelda fanatic. I have all the Nintendo consoles from 1986 to today, so I can play all of the Legend of Zelda games as they were intended. You can probably see the Link poster in the back of me that I got signed when I went to Comic-Con a couple years ago. But as I was browsing the video game aisle, this caught my eye. It's a vintage style pen and plant pot holder. So it looks like the vintage Legend of Zelda cartridge that I have in this box. I'm not going to take it out because I don't want to disturb it, but I just thought it was really cool and would make a great addition to the room and would actually maybe give me some more oxygen in here so I can have a plant. All right, next up are the Masters of the Universe minifigures. Now, I've never seen these out in the wild before, and I was super excited to come across them. I got a Battle Armor He-Man and a Battle Armor Skeletor. They had Ninjor on the pegs, and I'm not super fond of that particular character, so I just left it on the pegs. Not too much going on in the back of these packaging, just the mouth of Castle Grayskull, but it would have been nice to see the other figures in the line. And last but not least, I picked up these vintage Return of the Jedi Star Wars figures. Now, I am not a Star Wars collector by any means, but I thought these figures were very special because I remember watching the Return of the Jedi with my dad back in 1983, and I also had these figures in my collection at the time. So I picked up an Admiral Ackbar and a Han Solo in his Endor garb, and I really, really love the packaging on these figures that they've done here, especially including the Kenner logo. I know Hasbro bought Kenner a long time ago, so it's really nice to see that logo again. And one of my favorite things on the back is to see the figures that are coming up in the line, and I am super excited because I really, really want the Emperor's Royal Guard now. So that is the only figure that I'm going to be looking for in this Star Wars line. And I actually thought they did a really good job on the face sculpt for Han Solo here. I know that in the past, Hasbro has not done very good face sculpts for their Star Wars figures, but it looks like they're getting better. So that concludes my toy hunt for today. And thanks for tuning in. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Toy Habits.